What's up, guys? Daemonxel back again with another solo leveling Arise video. That's right. Fafnir, the king of the desert. That's right. The guild raid has been out. A lot of people have tried it. They're wondering, what's it all about? What are the strategies to go about it? Well, let's talk about it. Alright, so we're going to be talking about the guild raid that is the Fafnir, King of the Desert Fight, the 9 Hunter raid, where there are some things that you should know about this fight before you go ahead and just do it. Obviously, a lot of people are doing it, enjoying it, having a great time with it, but to get the most out of this, right? To get the most out of the fight, there are some things that you should know. Let's bring this up here. Alright, so as you can see, Fafnir is basically vulnerable to every single element that is out there. Now, there are some things about this fight that you should know. Now, I have done it. Now, I haven't recorded it yet, registered the fight yet, because I'm still just feeling it out for myself with my hunters. Now, obviously, everyone's mileage will differ with this fight. It is what I feel is a true gauge of your CP, of your account, of your hunters, how much work you have put into them. So obviously, yes, Mega Whales, Krakens will do much, much, much better than a Dolphin or a free-to-play, because it's all about what you have roster-wise, weapon-wise, as opposed to just straight up DPS like POD, where you can shadow step the head and get, as long as you do it every single time, your score will go off the charts, which obviously we all know that my disdain for POD, and everyone knows my disdain for POD, and that's only because I do not have the time to sink into 2 runs a day, 45 minutes each, because you never know. Maybe I'll screw up a shadow step. Maybe I won't get that hit in. So it is what it is. I've come to live with it, especially with my roster and my account. So let's go over a few things for itself. So, excuse me. The goal of the guild boss is to deal as much damage as you can within this 3-minute timer. I'll do a run after we talk about it. I just want to give you guys the fundamentals and everything about what's going on. So, you have 2 tries per week. So each week you get 2 tries, kind of like, Works of Brilliant Light, but you don't get additional tickets. You know what I mean? So what this is, you can bring up to 9 hunters and Jinwoo. So basically it's Jinwoo and 3 separate teams. Now, the boss itself works like POD, but every time you deplete its HP, it basically goes down to 0. The boss stat will increase. It's tiered, and his HP will regen to full, and your reward will also reflect the boss tier. So basically, if we go into rage rewards right here, because the higher your rage, the more rewards you're going to get. So currently right now, the highest I've gotten, I think, is rage 6. I just want to keep pushing the envelope here, and you get more combinations the higher rage you go up. You get more money, you get more boxes here, and these boxes themselves will give you the Knight's Spear Fragment, which you can get that SSR weapon for. It also gives you this box right here. Oh, it's a 3. Sorry. All right. So basically, you can get all this from this box itself. And of course, you'll get your guild contribution, which is basically helps you rank up the guild itself. So, where was I? Okay, so let's talk about the fight itself. So it is recommended every element. So in that instance, is going to help us out. So let me talk to you about the teams. You are setting up 3 separate teams. Now, the way this works is it's not going to be generalized over everything. So in other words, the buffs from Team B will not affect Team A and C. So each team is its own separate contained unit. Knowing that, you need to build these teams accordingly. So what I like to do is I like to at least have maybe 2 breakers in the team, DPS, and definitely some support. Support is key for this fight, guys. Now, Jinwoo himself, right? Jinwoo will get whichever buffs that Team A will get. So if you want a specific character to buff Jinwoo, you want to stick them in Team A. So the way I've broken my teams up, I've done my win team in Team B, my highest team, which is my water team in Team A, and my Team C is it's going to be my light team. Which I can bounce back between Libora and Min, once Gogun He comes out, because I'll put Gogun He in here. But currently, right now, I have Libora because of her move, which gives additional damage, that area effect. Now, we're going to talk about teams and how to build them up in a minute. Now, given the fact that the buffs work individually, in other words, if I had Min in Group A, right, Jin will receive the heal, he'll receive his ultimate buff, he'll receive his passive effect, but he won't receive anything, say, from Group B or Group C. That being said, any summon or field type effects that affect the field and the general area will be experienced for the entirety of the raid. So in other words, say Libora puts down her DPS field, right? That's going to not only affect Team C, but it will also affect Team B and Team A. Everyone will benefit from that. Same thing with Hansami's field, her healing field. That works as well, with everyone as well. That being said, debuffs will work throughout. So in other words, if I have someone debuffing from Team C, everyone will benefit because it's debuffing the boss, so everyone can take part of that. With that in mind, right? Let's see here. Debuff, on the other hand, plays a great part in this mode, since any debuff that you inflict on the boss, as long as it can stack, will benefit the whole raid against Fafnir. Debuff is key to deal massive damage the most. So we want to debuff Fafnir the most. And to do this, we kind of want to build Sung Jin Woo in that debuffer kind of support unit. I know it's weird. It's weird. He's your main DPS, but you can't use shadows in this. So you can't take, you won't be able to get any of the benefits from his shadows or anything like that. So it's just Sung Jin Woo and these 9 other hunters. With that in mind, I can build him in a support style. So what I want to do is I'm definitely going to put this move here, which is Armor Break, right? And this is the wind style. And the reason for that is when this skill hits, the target will take 7% additional damage. Now, that's from everybody, okay? That's going to deal across the board for everybody. Another one we could do right here is the Death's Dance, the white. It's going to increase critical hit damage by 30%. Now, I think this is going to help out across the board. There's still some testing I have to do on that, but what you really want to do is you want to have moves that are going to affect it all the way across the board. Things that are going to help out the entirety of the group. Like this skill right here, Mutilate, right? This would also be another good skill too. On the what is this one? This one is Mutilate Strike. Now the reason being is it's going to decrease the target's attack by 12%, and it's going to decrease the target's defense by 12% for 12 seconds. And that's going to help us out for all the other hunters to do more damage. Like I said, I'm still playing around with which skills work the best for this fight. Artifact-wise, I know I do not have the optimal setup. The optimal setup right here, if I wanted to use him as a support, I could put, depending on how I want to do it, if I want to pull out one of the breakers of the group and put another support or some debuffer in there, I can put a greed set on Sung, and then maybe the elemental set on him as well to help out. Currently, right now, I do have him in a full 8-piece curse set. Weapon-wise, this is important now when we're talking about weapons, because we're not really going to be the main DPS for this fight. So that being said, we want to help out the group as much as possible. The best weapons for this fight, let me pull this up here, is an A1, at least an A1 Grimoire. Now, the reason why the A1 Grimoire is so important is because on that one, it increases the elemental weakness damage taken by 24%. So we're basically upping all damage done to him by everyone. So that's why I do not have an A1, so it's not really the best for me to use. Obviously, I wouldn't be using Westwind because that's just DPS. Like I said, I'm not really set up for the fight right here. Your best weapon, your best friend in this is going to be your Moon Shadow daggers, though. And the reason being is we want the Lunar Eclipse. It increases damage taken by 10%. So all damage incoming to that target when you get that debuff up is going to increase the damage. It also increases the user's dark damage by 10%, but that's really not relevant in this. Now, obviously, the higher this goes up, the more damage it's going to take, the better it's going to be. In fact, if you have an A3, when you Shadow Step, it's going to apply this automatically. So the higher you have your Moon Daggers, guys, the better you're going to do in this fight. So I would say the best weapons for this would be, if you have it, at least an A3 Moon Shadow, or at least, you have definitely used the Moon Shadow. You want that lunar effect on there. If you have an A1 Grimoire, that's good as well. An A1 Ice Sword, which I have an A5, right? And the reason being, this is just going to up the elemental damage taken. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to, and let's see, Erosion. Yeah, Erosion is going to increase damage dealt to targets that have elemental weakness by 12%. So this is another good weapon to use. The Scotty and the A1 Scotty is okay to use on the A1. We're going to increase the user's target. Let's see. A1. Okay, Last Hunt. Let's see. When any attack lands while in the domain, so basically that frozen path that's on the ground, it's going to deal damage equal to 50% of the attacker's attack. So that's everyone. That increases the team's members' water elemental damage by 10%. That's what we want. So Alicia's just going to hit like a truck. Other good support weapons, right? The Knight's Dagger. That's it. I know it's an SR, guys. I know. But an A5 version of this, and the reason why you want an A5 is on this right here, the target's damage taken increases by 2%, stacking up to 5 times, and that lasts forever. Okay? So it's an additional 10% of damage that he's going to be taking. Now, if you don't have a lot of these, you can use DPS weapons. The DPS weapons that you want to take is at least an A5... A5 Orb of Erebus, right? This sucker right here. Obviously, got to level it up a bit more. An A1 Plum Sword. That is just to pump your damage up. But again, we're going to be using him more as a support character for this fight. Blessing, right? For blessings, we want to help out the rest of the team. So, the best bet for that, especially if you're using the Grimoire and the Scotty, is you definitely want to have... Let's change these up here. Whoop, wrong one. Where is it? The cooldown, which I only have a rare version of this. It's going to bring down your skill. So the cooldowns on that Grimoire, as well as the Moon Daggers, are going to decrease, so you can use them a lot more, as well as your breaks, in other words, your air vacuum, everything else you're going to use against them. It'll bring those cooldowns down. Another good one to use is if you need, because it's a big area, guys, you are going to want to use, let me see if I have it. Especially if you have the A3 Moon Daggers, would be swiftness as well as speed, because you're going to be able to dash more, which means you're going to be able to shadow step a lot more. Other skills that you are going to want to use is you can use the Blessing Zone, the Mana Rampage. Basically, attack increases by 9%, and I mean, it's not the best, but it could. It could. Double-edged sword is probably going to work better for you. What else is going to be working for you? The dagger techniques, advanced dagger techniques. This one is going to work when attacking an enemy who has 70% or less. Basically, it's having that free executioner set on you, so you're going to be able to do more damage as well. Anything that's going to pump up the damage of yourself and the damage of the groups is what we basically want. So that's what we're going to be using for him. Now, for our characters, right? Our water group, again, I'm using CEO, I'm using Alicia, I'm using Maywin. They all work well together. I want the break because he's going to go into that phase where you need to break him down so he doesn't kill everybody. So, obviously, I got to pump some of our things up here. But yeah, CEO is going to be a breaker. Alicia's our main damage dealer. Now, the only problem with Alicia in this fight is that she sometimes will run out of mana, which means her DPS is going to plummet. So if you do not have Mei Lin, right, which is going to increase her damage, it's going to heal the group, it's going to be a radical thought. Just hear me out. If you have a high min, you can use min, right? I have an A1 min, which that'll work great too. But I obviously have a higher Mei Lin, so that's going to work. But if you don't have either of those, Lee Jo-hee, hear me out. I know she's an SR character. Nobody uses her. She's kind of crap, but she can pump up the MP of Alicia's, therefore making Alicia do more damage. And that's overall what it is. Because our hunters are going to do more damage than we do, right? On the win team, we have this set up. We have our breaker with Jinchul here. We have Hansumi giving our healing, giving MP, and Marisha's going to tear into it with DPS. Same on the light side, right? I would have Gogen here, which would be doing damage as well as breaks. But I don't have him yet. He doesn't come out till next week. So I'm using my next highest DPS, which is Yu Sun-hyu. I know it's fire, but she's going to add that defense penetration, so hopefully that'll help out. Again, Libor is going to put that DPS ground down, so it's going to help everyone else out as well. So let's go ahead and do a run so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Oh, and since we are talking about what they should wear, if you're the type of person that's going to be swapping out gear for pod and everything else, then the best sets to use for Alicia would be a 4 armed or toughness set and 4 burning curse. For Seo, Junchul, and when he does come out, Gogun-hee, you want to use an AP's Burning Greed. That's the best bet for you. For Mei Lin or Min, you can use the 4-piece Blessing set as well as a 4-piece Sylph set. That'll up our elemental damage. Same with Hansumi, you want to use that Blessing set as well as a 4-piece Sylph set. That's the green Peridot. I actually have it on Libora here. It's not the best in the world, but here, this right here, I ran out of materials to do this, but right here, this is what we want, our 4-piece set. Increases the skill's duration for 60 seconds, increases the elemental weakness damage, and a skill of up to 3 instances. So this is going to up our elemental weaknesses by 5% for 30 seconds. So it's going to last a full minute. So every time this is, we're going to keep bumping up our elemental damage, and that's the name of the game in this. For our DPSs, for Marie, you want to use a 4-piece curse. You can use the outstanding ability as well as the other piece. That's a good one as well. For Cha, 4 armed or toughness, and 4 burning curse. But use this according to what you have in your arsenal against the fight. So let me go through a fight, and we'll see what we're doing here. While I'm setting him up, I also want to touch base on this. The Juicy Grilled Skewer is even on A0. Obviously, I need to get more materials to bring this all the way up level-wise. This also is going to do well, because not only is it going to do additional fire damage while he's in that area of effect, it's also going to drop the items to help everyone regain HP as well as MP. And that's everyone can take advantage of this, not just Jinwoo. Okay, so our power has gone down a bit. I've switched to the Moon Daggers as well as Juicy Grilled Skewer. Obviously, it's very underpowered. I'm using Vacuum Wave as well as Mutilate, the Dark one. This way we can do the additional damage. So let's go into the fight itself, and we'll take a run on it. I love that opening. I think that's just a fantastic thing. I think the art team did a fantastic job with this. All right, let's go right in.
Too slow. You can't avoid it. Vanish into the shadow of the moon.
We want to use Moon Daggers every time it's available.
Cut you in half. Vanish into the shadow. It's
And you see, we're only halfway through the fight, and I'm not even on rage count. I'm only on rage count 3, so it's going slow here.
It's no use. You can't avoid it.
Here comes the brakes. I don't think I'm going to get it off in time. Nope. And that just killed a bunch of hunters. So we are already not doing well here with the setup. So, and then I died. So as you can see, it takes some getting used to. And I got to do some more testing as well. But that's basically what you want to accomplish. Obviously, it's a really crap score. I need to do a lot better. But as you can see, the hunters do a lot more damage than you. Even if I'm full DPS set, I'm not going to come close to what my hunters can do DPS-wise. So that's how you guys want to build for this. This is how you want to attempt this. I'm sorry I couldn't show you a better score on my run, but I hope this, guys. I hope this helps you guys plan for the fight, attack this fight a different way, and with that, thank you for supporting me. Oh, and guys, just to let you guys know, I'm actually just been approved. I am in the Netmarble Partner Plus program, so you can go ahead and support me there if you guys like my content. I would love to have support. This way I can get codes and give them to you guys, and everyone wins here. So with that, I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great weekend. Adventure safe. And remember, here on this channel, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front. See you in the next video.